Hello, Ediz.
Hello. Hello, Miss Bush.
Hello.
Welcome to the ThebeardCast.
Let me just move that over a bit because I'm afraid that we won't be able to hear Miss Bush's diminutive voice.
Oh no.
So quiet. Welcome to episode 4 of the ThebeardCast. I am joined by two people yet again. Yesterday, or not yesterday.
It was last week.
Last week, I had Mr. Shepu, who's not here.
Well, he was a great guest, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What was your favourite part of Mr. Shepu's?
The jingle that I done, I think
that was amazing. I don't think we should do that again this week because it did take up quite a lot of last week's podcast.
It took like half.
You've promised to not do it so much.
Yeah, because I've actually made some jingles, some proper jingles.
Yeah, and we've got Miss Bush today. Miss Bush, would you just like to say a bit about yourself, what you do within the school?
Within the school, I work with Mr. Walker in the SEN department, where I had the pleasure of meeting Ediz.
Bonjour.
And I go to a lot of different classes, support different students, and I teach some of them by themselves as well.
There you go, Ediz.
Very
Absolutely
nice.
Amazing. And Miss Bush has been a total revelation to the department since she joined last year. You know, and it is a pleasure to work with you on a daily basis.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
I had to wait quite a while for that thank you, didn't I?
I was nervous of what was going to come
Longer
next.
than I would have liked. So, Miss Bush, we'd like to ask you, what is your favourite book?
What is my favourite book? Oh gosh.
Do you read a lot?
I do read quite a lot actually, yeah. Which is why that's such a difficult question for me.
Yeah, I mean, when it's posed upon you straight away like that, it is quite hard to
Can you tell me your
come up with
favourite book
answers.
while I have some thinking time?
My favourite book is Edge magazine, which I get...
That's not a book, that's a magazine.
Yeah, what's your favourite book?
My favourite books was probably, when I was younger, the Goosebumps series.
Oh, my sister
I
likes that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I also like the Point horror books, which were a bit more...
Do you want to hear my favourite book, sir?
I'd love to.
50 Shades of Grey.
That is not your favourite book, Ediz.
How do you know?
Well, if it is, then that's fine. That's all well and good.
They're not really their target audience, though.
No,
Well, there's no target audience.
I
I think there is, mainly women
older.
of a certain age. And if you fit into that
Over
bracket, then
50.
I apologise, but
Talking about their
I
hair.
presumed you were a 15-year-old boy.
I'm not a 15.
14-year-old boy. Sorry if my assumption is wrong.
Right, well, first off, we're going to be talking about our first sector of this podcast, which
And
is...
we're going to be talking about Of Mice and Men again, where we asked Miss Bush...
We're gonna...
Oh, Ediz, that was so smooth. Here we go. Miss Bush. Yes, Miss Bush, what do you know about Of Mice and Men?
Well, I know a little bit about it. I did it in secondary school.
So you should know a lot about it then.
Yeah, but I'm not as young as Ediz, so it was a lot longer.
Thank you for clearing that up. I'd
You're
had
only
one.
like
In case you're confused.
11 or maybe 12 years older than me, so not that...
Yeah, I know,
that
but
old.
that's quite a while ago. But I remember quite a lot about it, and I did a bit of it actually with Year 10 boys last year.
Yeah, and is it a story you enjoy? Is it a story that has parallels with your own life?
It doesn't really have any parallels with my own life, I'm quite glad to say.
What, so you don't like tending rabbits then, miss?
I don't ever tend rabbits, I'll be honest. I do,
that's a shame.
I had pet rabbits for a while.
My mum had
They were
a
nice.
giant lop, which is a rabbit. It's not a disease.
You normally say lop-eared, though.
Yeah, it was massive. She saw it in a paper and she said, I just have to have one of those. And
That's
it was
what
like
she
the
said.
side of a dog. And it was quite an aggressive beast. And it would, when you tried to put it back in the hutch, it would kick its back legs and claw my mum's arms up. And I don't think Lenny would have put up with a rabbit like that.
No, I think Lenny would have
upset.
strangled it or said, be quiet,
Yeah.
broke its neck or
Although
something.
maybe it would have been better if it had a big rabbit, because it would have been harder for him to injure it, wouldn't it?
Wow.
How about a
quicker
dog?
one.
How about like a really big dog? You know the old dog, the old man's dog,
Yeah.
Curly's dog.
Yeah.
Why didn't Lenny just have that dog? Because if he killed it, then it wouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
I think it would be to the old man. He loved the dog, didn't he?
Yeah,
the dog
that's
was
it.
all he had in the world.
I think
from
he
what
would
I remember.
have scrunched the dog up into a small piece and just thrown it on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what me and Ediz did see, miss, we watched the film with
Oh,
John
it's sad,
Cusack
isn't
and
it?
I think
Hey,
it's
did you know that
Sinise.
guy? You know the one with the black hair?
No, there's a lot of them with black hair.
No, I mean, you know, George.
Yeah.
The guy who plays George. He's from CSI Miami.
He did.
Is
George
he?
went on after Of Mice and Men, ushering Lenny to become an undercover agent in the crime scene investigation.
I probably recognise him because I love a bit of CSI.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He was also in Of Mice and Men.
Yeah, if you didn't know.
And
When I
also-
watched that at school, a lot of people cried because I went to an all-girls school.
That's bit sexist, miss, saying that boys
Well,
don't cry. Eddie actually sobbed at the
when
end.
we watched
I
it
did
with the
sob.
Year 10 boys, they laughed. So there's a bit
Yeah,
of a
they
difference there.
I remember
So
that.
that's how, remember what I done? I was like, bang, 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 remember?
Yeah, but the boys did actually laugh when Lenny cuddled Curly's wife and broke her neck, and she just dropped, and the boys found that to be quite funny.
Yeah.
I found it funny. I was like, ha 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 ha.
But maybe that's just the youth of today,
I
miss.
think you're desensitised by GTA.
Yeah, but let's not get onto that,
Let's not get onto that.
which is a pretty controversial subject. But we did see Lenny get shot in the head by George.
Yeah.
Why do you think he shot him in the head?
Because, I don't know, Lenny was
No, you
being-
do know. That's the whole point.
George had to kill Lenny because Lenny was going to get killed by other people, and if Lenny was left on his own, he would have killed more people or something like that.
He may have killed more people.
So it's kind of like an act of kindness.
Yeah.
So, Ediz, tell us about the similarities between Candy and his dog and having to have his dog put down, and George and Lenny. Because we have been speaking about this in class.
Right, so the dog,
Yeah,
Candy's dog, George and Lenny, is that it?
yeah.
Right. So the differences.
Well, the similarities between...
Well, George and Lenny are both men,
They are.
and the dog is a man as well. I think so.
I wouldn't have said so, Ediz. I wouldn't say that at
Do you
all.
think maybe George and Lenny... Wait, which one's which? Lenny's
Lenny
the one
is
who
the big
Yeah,
oaf
okay.
man.
George looks after Lenny
Yeah.
quite a lot, and I imagine that Candy looks after his dog
Yeah.
quite a lot.
And the dog had to get shot in the head, just
Yeah.
like Lenny.
Yeah.
That's another
And so
similarity.
they both lost something or someone that they really cared about.
Yeah.
Didn't
That they really appreciate. And George saw it as a point of, you know what, I can't run anymore. I can't keep hold of Lenny.
Because he's so big.
Yeah, because he's big and because he's had to sacrifice his own life and happiness.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in the end, he just couldn't do it anymore. So that is it for Mice and Men, it is. Well, that was actually
they?
comedy.
Enjoyable.
I don't
Thank you
know
for that. That went on a bit longer than the others, didn't it? So we've got Miss Bush here, and for her namesake, Miss Bush, we need to ask Miss Bush, what does she know about bush babies?
For God's sake.
Do you know all about bush babies?
I know a
have
bit
you got
about bush
a very
babies.
limited knowledge?
Actually, when I was a baby, my mum and dad thought it'd be really funny to get a little badge of a bush baby. that
Wow, I
said
didn't even know this. See,
It
Eddie?
said bush baby on it and
Yeah.
put it on me because it was ironic because I was.
What is a bush baby?
A bush baby? I don't want to say it's some kind of marsupial. I think that's wrong. It's some kind
Some kind of marsupial.
furry little animal with massive eyes that lives in a tree, and it's really cute.
Which
Like
is...
Mr. Walker.
I sometimes live in a tree, Ediz, but I wouldn't call myself cute.
His eyes aren't as big as a bush baby's eyes either.
No,
They've
bush
got very
babies
big
can
eyes.
appear quite evil if you look at them in the
No,
night.
they're cute, and that's why we're programmed to find things with big eyes cute.
Not
Why?
really.
Why?
Because our babies will have big eyes when they're born, and it makes us want to nurture them and look after them, and that's what
They
how-
do show like.
But if
right.
I see a girl with big eyes, I'm not going to say, oh, I want her.
No,
or
but if you
something.
see, like, have you watched Puss in Boots?
No.
Oh, if you
No,
ever
that
see
was
Puss in
Shrek.
Boots, he's got his own film as well.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you had a spin-off
It's
series
got
like
its own
Chloe
film.
from Friends, but that didn't end very well, did it?
No, well, Puss in Boots is an excellent film.
Okay.
I watched it a lot in Spanish.
What is it called? Pussy in Boots?
Puss in
Oh,
Boots.
Puss in
You know, the
Boots,
character
right, yeah.
from
Yeah.
Shrek. And in that, he's got really big eyes. Whenever he makes his eyes
Brilliant.
big, everyone does what he wants.
And they fall in love with him. But
Mr.
Ediz,
Loverman.
this ties into adaptation. How do you think a bush baby has adapted? I'll show you a picture at the moment, because obviously you could look like anything. You don't even know what it is. This is a bush baby, Ediz. Oh, look at his little face. Yeah?
That's,
Look at
that's
its
not even
tail,
the
that's-
cutest picture of
That's
one.
not the cutest one,
No,
miss.
I want to
Mrs.
look at it again.
You have looked at it mainly, right? So there it is. As we can see, it's got a long tail. What would it need a long tail for, Ediz? Bush babies, they're in trees a lot and stuff like that.
Well, covering themselves up from the cold.
I don't think they would wrap it up as a kind of scarf. I think they actually use the tail for balance.
Is it? All right.
Yeah, so basically, you know where we would hold our hands out if we were climbing along trees?
What do you mean?
I don't know if you've ever done that or a tightrope.
And when cats use their tails as well, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
And you see them walking along walls and stuff.
And that's how it's adapted, and it's also got long little skinny hands and feet.
Like mine.
Fingers. Yeah,
It's
not
got
like
claws
yours.
so it can grip onto things.
So, yeah.
Because I don't think that either of us could probably climb up a tree as quickly as a bush baby.
Hello, I'd like
You
to see
don't
that,
know.
miss.
I would love to
I
see
would.
that.
A bush baby.
Are you up for doing that, miss? Maybe.
I tell you what, I am. If you can bet me £1, I'll do it.
We need to find a bush baby
And a tree.
and a tree of equal size. Obviously, it wouldn't be fair, would
Yeah.
it? Unless we use the same tree and then we time the bush baby and then we time you.
Yeah.
But I don't think you could do it, Ediz.
How do you know?
Especially in this
Bush
climate.
babies are very fast.
It's
So
very
am I.
slippery.
I'm very
They
fast.
spend their lives training for this kind of moment.
Yep.
Oh, come on. I've spent my life training for thing.
Well, I didn't know you'd spent your life training that, Ediz. Right, they have large eyes that give them good night vision, which they're going to need, aren't they? They go around mainly at night. Their ears are
I've
bat-like.
got night vision.
Ediz, you need to stop boasting
Sorry.
because, you know, Miss Bush didn't even know. And how do you think that makes her feel now?
Quite important.
Well done.
We're quite privileged, I suppose.
Yeah.
They catch insects on the ground or snatch them out of the air. They snatch insects out of the air. Now, that is one thing I know you can't do.
Yes, I can. Just jump up. Catch it.
I've never seen you do that.
Fine. Try me.
Oh, there's no insects in this room at the moment. Right. They have nails on most of their digits, except for the second toe on the
On their
hind foot.
digits. What's the digits?
Is that a finger or a toe?
Oh, right.
It's called a toilet claw for grooming. That's not very hygienic, is it?
It doesn't sound very nice.
So if you're ever going to put one of the bush baby's fingers into your mouth,
Don't go
make
for the
sure
toilet
it is
claw.
not the second toe of the hind foot, because that's not going to be very nice. Okay? So, that is about bush babies. Well, I was quite surprised with how much you knew about that, Miss Bush. You know, obviously we take for granted that you would have been teased maybe about your second name throughout your life.
Potentially.
And we're not the first people to have come up with these connections to your name. Whereas I was called, as you can imagine, Walker's Crisps.
Yeah.
Quite a lot
Remember
during
when
my
I
life.
started to do that? Like, what was it? Not last year, the year before last. I was like, hello, Walker's Crisps. And stuff.
Yeah.
And I said some other things. Like,
And obviously you thought, oh, that's original. I've just come up with that. But
Yeah.
obviously we're throwing things at
because we've
Miss.
already been at school.
And she's been there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's any kind of Bush pun we can come up with that hasn't been used.
Probably not. Even just the other day, the lady at the sweet shop asked me if I was George Bush's daughter.
Did you get angry or?
I didn't get angry, I laughed at her. And I said, luckily not, no.
No, because we were going to get. Obviously, we've got that down on the paper as well to ask you
sorry,
about George Bush.
I'm speeding ahead here, aren't I?
You are, and obviously that's something you come across in your everyday life as well. So, which is a shame. Ediz, I just dropped my pen. Right, Ediz, we're now going on to history.
What is it playing?
Ediz, I think Miss Bush is giving bad luck to this podcast.
Thanks.
It's like everything is just
It's not
going wrong.
working.
It's not working.
ambushed.
We do. We feel that you've got some kind of paranormal activity going on.
Ambush.
The film.
Yeah, that was a pun. I don't think that Mr. Walker picked up on
I
it.
didn't pick that. Oh,
Glad you did, Ediz.
normally I pick up that sort of stuff like anything. Right, Ediz, we're now going to talk about history. Not history in general, just history specific, targeted at.
I'm. I don't know what that says. Don't put it up to my face, I can see it. Mine cat.
Not
Cam.
mine, cat. That would be
Yeah, sorry, wouldn't it? Really?
that would be. Right, so Mein Kampf. That's what you're learning about in history at the moment, aren't you?
What do I know about. What is it called again?
Mein Kampf. tell us what you know about Mein Kampf, or have you got limited knowledge?
I don't know anything.
Excellent. Miss, have you come across Mein Kampf? Have you read it?
I
Is
haven't
it one of
read
your
it.
favourite?
I haven't read it.
Are you aware of it?
Is it like a book that Hitler wrote?
He did write it, Ediz. And
Then I know about it then.
Well done, it's good that you know about it. It's his manifesto, and it's called My Struggle, by Adolf Hitler. And it
Sounds like a song.
Yeah, he outlines his political ideology of future plans for Germany, which he then tried to put in place, didn't he? Which
Good old Hitler.
I wouldn't say that it is.
Bad old Hitler.
Bad old Hitler.
Yeah, I would agree with bad old
Exactly.
He was imprisoned, and he's failed in the putsch, Munich putsch, which we
Munich
spoke
putsch.
about last week in November 1923.
What?
He
No,
failed.
we spoke about it last week in November 1923.
No, it happened in November 1923, not the podcast. I don't want you thinking you've gone back in time.
Right.
Hitler received many visitors initially. He's not in the podcast, in prison. He soon devoted himself entirely to the book.
Yeah.
He continued that he realised that it would be a 2-volume work. His first was scheduled for release in 1925. He hopes the book will
So
run
what was
into
Hitler
many
like?
editions.
How old was Hitler?
Hitler
when
was
the book came out?
many different ages, just as we are.
No, I mean, how old was he in 1923? Well, no, sorry,
I'm not sure it
1925.
is.
No, I'm not sure.
Right, he was born in 1880.
1980. So he was like minus 72.
1880 years old.
Yeah.
He was born in 1880.
So basically, he sat there and he outlined his entire vision for Germany while sitting in his prison cell
Why was he in prison?
for trying to lead an uprising, which is the Munich Putsch.
Yeah,
I
good old
see.
Munich Putsch.
But he was caught trying to overthrow the government
by the police.
By the police,
And
yeah.
then he just went about it blatantly instead.
He went about it blatantly, and
He
maybe
got shot, didn't he?
he did.
Yeah.
And Miss, we had a really in-depth conversation once about Adolf Hitler and whether he was the product of the countries themselves, because after World War One, Germany were in a horrendous state, weren't they? It is. Can you name some of the things that we're going through with
Going
Germany?
through what? With Germany? Well, their money.
Their money, useless. It was worthless, wasn't
crap,
it?
wasn't it?
Yeah. It had no value whatsoever. And a loaf of bread cost something like 1 million marks, didn't it?
Yeah.
Because money just was worthless, and people end up trading their
But
things.
but you could have kept the marks like 1 million
Yeah.
and keep it for like about 100 years, and then you can sell that money for
When
like
you're
loads.
150.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for like lots and lots of more money.
But people just wanted to eat at the time, it is. You
Yeah.
can't say to your child, oh, we'll get a loaf of bread in 100 years. Just at the moment, we
Just
can't
hold
spend
tight.
any of the money.
You could actually say that.
The German people were very angry, and the countries ordered, like the European countries, ordered Germany to pay back lots of money for all the damage they'd caused.
Yeah.
If we maybe would have let Germany get back onto their feet, then they wouldn't have gone towards a leader like Hitler, who was
Yeah.
going to promise to bring them out.
I remember once. Did I tell you the story? Remember when I tried to have a shave? And
Is this going to tie in with Adolf Hitler?
yes, it is.
Okay.
I wanted to do the Hitler moustache, right?
Okay.
As you do. Now, instead of me doing the two sides, I'd done the middle,
First.
and it made me look like a bit of a weirdo, didn't it?
Well, you
I'm
know.
quite glad that went wrong.
Yeah, so am I.
I think that actually, inadvertently, Hitler has changed facial hair a bit, hasn't he? Because
Yeah,
now
no one will
the
sport
Hitler
that.
moustache has a different meaning to what it probably had before he
Yeah.
had it
Yeah.
I
himself.
mean, I don't think I've ever seen anyone with that
No,
moustache.
But if he hadn't existed,
Charlie Chaplin did.
If he hadn't existed, then it'd just be another kind of moustache you could have.
Yeah, I think he
It's
has
just
limited the facial hair world.
Yeah.
He's taken
too
another
many
one.
associations.
I would
with it
love
now.
to see you with a Hitler moustache.
Well, that would be controversial, and it's not something I'd be willing
Could
to
be
do.
quite offensive.
Yeah.
I went to Poland in the summer and I went to Auschwitz, which
Yeah.
is a concentration camp.
Miss, you kept this under wraps. You need to tell us about this because this is.
What do you know about
gold.
concentration camps, miss?
Brilliant, let's play it.
I'll wait for it to finish,
wait
shall
for
I? I'll hold tight.
What do you know about concentration camps? What do you know about that?
This specific concentration camp, because I
Yeah.
also went to one in Cambodia.
Is that a kind of hobby of yours?
No, it's just two different places I've been. And I did think quite a lot before going to them because it's upsetting and it's
Are
horrible.
they haunting?
They are quite haunting, but what was strange actually, the one I went to in Poland, one of them used to be an army barracks, and they took it over, and used it as a concentration camp. So because it wasn't built to be a concentration camp, it was quite nice, isn't the word to use, but the building,
one of the better
the structure was quite nice. It was well built, it was insulated, it was warm, they had windows, they didn't have barbed wire everywhere. So if you looked around and you didn't know, you wouldn't have guessed. But then the second one I went to there, because they've got two, they've got Birkenau and Auschwitz, that was built specifically, it just looked like loads of stables.
May I ask you a question about concentration camps?
You may.
Have you ever watched like that? It's like a video where it shows like people getting out of concentration camps, like they're all like there's like dead bodies everywhere and things.
Is it a real video?
Yeah, proper
I don't
video.
think I've watched it. No.
I didn't. It was a bit shocking.
Yeah, it would be Ediz. I think
I watched it when I was in year 8, so it was very shocking and a bit inappropriate since there was like lots of naked men everywhere.
I don't think they would have.
Did you watch The Boy in Striped Pyjamas, or did you watch an actual?
I watched an actual thing. I watched actual footage, and I watched the film as well, where the guy gets like thingied. Yeah, when he goes into the showers.
Yeah, because I know last year with year 8 boys, I did The Boy in Striped Pyjamas, and they all didn't believe it was true. They thought it was just a story. You know, I had to explain to them that.
Yeah, because it was. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I think that
I don't understand this, right? Right, the guy who went in, you know, the kid.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just come out or
because
go out?
He wasn't allowed out. They didn't realise he wasn't a Jew. They thought he was in the concentration camp. Obviously, if he'd gone, "I'm actually sorry, I'm here by mistake," then everyone would do that, wouldn't they? And they wouldn't just let
No, I mean,
them
like,
I'm actually a German.
how can he die? You just don't have to breathe it in. You just have to cover your face like that.
Wow, Ediz has just found a way that they all could have survived.
Why didn't they just hold their breath?
Only for like 10 seconds.
Stop the genocide.
But for another thing is, they didn't know that they were getting gassed. They didn't go in there knowing they were going to be
They thought they were
gassed.
having a shower.
Yeah, but you can tell what a shower looks like, and if it's
It did look like a
looks like a
shower.
shower. I went in there. It looks like a massive shower.
You actually went in.
Yeah, you go
inside.
into that.
Oh,
one.
miss, you shouldn't have done that because there might be some gas still.
Luckily, there
No, she
wasn't
held her
any.
breath. Luckily,
I did. I held
you
my
have
breath.
to hold your breath before you go in there.
Brilliant.
But yeah, it does look like a shower, and it was quite basic how they did it, really, wasn't it? They just had
Well,
these
it was
tiny
efficient,
granules.
wasn't it? Just like
They showed us, and you could see on the top of the building there were two tiny boxes. They just lifted it up, put the granules in this thing, and it turned into the gas.
yeah. So it was just like basically a conveyor belt of people going in and getting gassed, and then just
Yeah, it was quite horrific actually to go there.
Anyway, to lighten up the situation, let's move on to travel.
Oh, a travel thing. That's
yeah. This
good.
is travel. Well done,
is
Ediz. That is a new.
How did you make that?
On GarageBand.
Ediz is a bit of a master at making jingles.
Yeah, on GarageBand.
So, what was it like getting to school this morning, Ediz? Was it quite busy? Or?
The car didn't start this
Oh
morning.
dear.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But that's something that's unique to you. I don't
And
think
someone
that's gonna
keyed
be...
my mum's car last night as well.
Oh dear. Was
Guess
it just? Was it a lion? Was
No,
it horizontal?
it was an
parallel?
image.
An image.
Yeah.
Was it
Quite-
inappropriate or? Yeah.
Quite inappropriate.
Dear.
Okay. So we won't really talk about what the image
No.
was, but obviously your mum was a bit upset, and you had to drive around
Yeah,
with it on the side of your car.
yeah. We put some black tape over it.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's
What
responsible.
colour is your car?
Blue.
Oh dear. But you can't really get blue tape.
No, you probably wouldn't have it handy, would you?
No.
So we just got some white tape and we just put some blue marker over it.
That's again brilliant.
Yeah.
That's good.
Excellent. So your journey to work, was it good? Was it
School?
School, sorry, because it's work for us, but school for you. That's what we've got to understand.
Right, well, I mean, it was alright. Nothing too bad.
So it take you a long time to get
Yeah,
there?
well, we had to usually go 21.
Yeah, you're 21.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
That's not one of the best motorways, is it?
No.
No. My journey to work, I started to walk as I usually do, but then it started raining, and I decided to get a bus. And I had my headphones on, and I was at the back of the bus listening to music, and I could still hear this woman at the front shouting at her children.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
was she
what
Jamaican?
successful, aren't they?
What? It's a general question.
No, she wasn't.
Okay.
She was of an English origin, and she was what I like to call someone who watches Jeremy Kyle after taking the children's school.
Oh, dear.
How about you, miss? Did you enjoy your journey to work today?
My journey to work was okay. I didn't realise it was raining for some reason, so I left my umbrella at home. I was a bit annoyed about that.
At
Oh,
what,
dear.
what point did you not realise it was raining?
Well, because where I live is really a big care home.
Yeah, she's not in care. She is
a guardian, property guardian. And
Miss,
property...
what do you know about rain?
Well, I feel slightly interrupted from my
yeah, I think
story.
she was. Yeah.
I don't know that much about rain. I used to know about precipitation, clouds, and all.
She's using big words now just to impress us.
I used to know a bit about rain. I've experienced quite a lot of rain in my lifetime.
Is that metaphorically or?
A bit of both.
Wow, it's quite deep.
Yeah. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, it
but
does.
This morning, by the time I left my front door, it's about a 2-minute walk from my bedroom to the front door. So I would have been late if I'd gone all the way back up to
How
my
big is your
I
bedroom,
see.
Miss?
My bedroom is quite large, actually.
But the walk from her bedroom to the front door, because obviously she goes down many corridors.
Yeah, got to go through some corridors,
Like a
down some
labyrinth.
stairs. Yeah.
Fight a minotaur
And
and
then
stuff like that.
I have to walk quickly up a hill, which I never enjoy in the mornings.
But you like walking down it on the way home.
Yeah, I do
That
like
is one of your
walking down.
highlights.
Yeah, and there's a cat that lives on the corner, which is quite nice to see.
What happens if you don't see the cat? Does that put her
What
down
do you
on
know
your day?
about cats, Miss?
I knew
I was
this
really
was
hoping you
about
were going to sing What Do You Know About Cats instead of that.
What you know about cat?
I know a lot about cats.
Miss, you do seem like the sort of person
I
that would
love
care for cats.
And
I don't
actually,
care about them.
we had a cat when I was younger called George, because again, my parents found that
Oh
hilarious. So
dear.
it was George
Ha
Bush the
ha
cat.
ha. When did that get old, miss?
Well, I didn't enjoy taking him to the vets very much.
Yeah, this is George Bush. Was he very presidential in the way he conducted himself? Was he quite?
Meow,
He was
meow,
probably
meow.
more
Snooty.
professional than the
Yeah.
president was himself.
Well, that's controversial, isn't it?
But he wasn't.
Did you know... Sorry, Miss Bush.
Go ahead.
Last night, my dog came up to my room. Her name's Tiger, because she looks like a tiger, right? She came up to my room.
What kind of dog is she?
She
tiger.
She's a crossed Jack Russell with some other stuff as well. I don't know.
She looks like a tiger.
Yeah, she does. So she came up to my room. She's making all these dog noises.
As you do, if you're a dog.
As you do if you're a dog. And she jumped up on my bed, and she started to lick my face. I'm like, what the hell? What's this thing licking my face? And I looked, and it was my dog.
Yeah.
And as I went to yawn, my dog decided to lick the area of my mouth, and
This is quite horrific.
It's quite an upsetting story.
yeah.
I don't know how we've gone from what I know about cats
Yeah.
and rain to
You just wanted to get that story in,
dogs
didn't
licking
you?
I did.
Because you're pretty proud of yourself.
Anyway, that's the end of travel.
Travel.
Now we're going to move on to another segment
Maths.
of the podcast, Maths.
So maths. What have you been up to in maths, Ediz?
Well, we've just lately done a test. Lately.
A lot of tests going on, obviously, towards the end of term.
Yeah, I mean, it happens, doesn't it? Because it's the end of the term and whatnot.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ediz, come on, you can't.
It's fine. It's running still.
Okay, let's go.
Right. This is a weird day, isn't it, Mr. Walker?
It's not a weird day. It's quite good. We've got 9 minutes left of the podcast.
Let's go. Well, I mean, what was I talking? Maths.
Maths, yeah.
Right. Maths test. It went well. I think I got either a
Excellent.
C or a B.
That's brilliant.
That's really good.
I think
I
so.
hope you have, Ediz,
I hope you have
because
too.
you know you need to, like science.
Yeah.
You
Like,
need to be moving up sets.
don't tell anyone, but
Okay.
Mr. Shepherd helped me a bit.
Okay, that's a bit controversial.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
think-
sure he only helped you in a way that he thought was relevant to the
Yeah,
test.
obviously.
He didn't say, "Oh, that's 4."
Or 7 squared or something.
Yeah, I don't like all that sort of stuff.
No, I
Was
don't
maths
like
one of
it.
your favourite subjects at school, Miss?
No.
What do you know about maths?
I know a bit about maths.
If you had to be a teacher of any particular subject, what would that be?
Well, I love English most of all, but working here, I've realised a lot of the kids aren't particularly big fans of English.
Do you think that's just because they're not as inspired as maybe?
I love
they-
English, miss.
Well, I'm happy you love English. Some people do. I think what can be difficult in English is in maths, you're right or you're wrong. There's not really a room for debate, is there?
No, there used to be though. before we got everything spot on.
Yeah, before we kind of sorted out the world was round and...
Yeah, there was... but I think
fixed.
we've come to the point now where we need to just drop maths. Okay, we all know it. It's done.
I don't think we
1
should
plus
drop it.
1 and that's it.
What I think we should do in maths, though, is teach it how it applies to our lives.
Rather than
So we should be like,
algorithms.
okay, this is maths. You're going to get a bank account next year. This is how you can use maths to help you.
Rather
with
than
this.
algebra.
Yeah.
Because you don't go, what's A divided by C to the power of F
No.
for this Mars bar, please.
Exactly. So I think that maybe it should be adapted somehow. That would be quite nice.
We've got to get out of this kind of fascination with letters instead of numbers. That's
Yeah.
what it is,
Yeah.
okay? Because we're that was maths. Right, so earlier, Miss, we were talking about George W. Bush and his father, who was called... What was his father called?
George.
Was it called George as well?
What do you know
what it
about
has.
George
No
W. Bush?
imagination. George W. Bush.
I don't actually know that much about George Bush. I
But
know
he isn't related to you.
he's not related to me. I think I'd be a lot wealthier if he was. When my mum lives in America and when I go to visit her,
Yeah.
often the airline
How's he seen in
staff
America? Is he seen as
find
a...
themselves hilarious. And I was going to visit my Uncle George,
Yeah.
but I'm not in first class, so I think they could probably guess the answer to that.
So your
Wow, he looks
uncle
like
is
Bill
called
Gates.
George Bush.
No. When I go to visit my mum in America, they think maybe
Oh,
I'm going to visit
okay,
my Uncle
yeah.
George. He had,
Hey, you here to visit George Bush? And
Yeah.
you just laugh.
I just go, no, thanks.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. But I do humour him. He's not viewed that positively. I think it depends where you're from because it's so big, isn't it? They've all got different opinions. But he did a lot of things that offended people, didn't he? And he said a lot of things that didn't make sense.
If you were a
There are some-
Pakistani person and you went to America to visit George Bush,
Yeah.
what would you say if you were American? Or what would you say if you were George Bush?
I don't really understand the question, if I'm honest.
As I don't think the Pakistani community have that much of a grudge against George
Talking
Bush.
about the Pakistani community, has anyone here watched Citizen Khan?
What? Pardon?
Citizen Khan?
No, I haven't.
Really?
No, I don't
Really?
actually know. No.
Are you sure he's from Pakistan? He's Pakistani
Yeah.
because you know there's like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka.
No, but he says Pakistan.
Okay, that's brilliant.
Ediz, if you could go anywhere in the world to visit, where would you want to go?
That's good, Miss. You're very good at taking him off of controversial.
I have no idea. Maybe,
I'd like to go to Japan while Ediz is thinking.
Would you?
Yeah,
you
because
like
I'm
manga?
big into
while
manga
I'm
and technology.
thinking, you would like
Yeah.
to go to
It
Japan.
takes quite a while. You can hear him
Yeah.
thinking.
Just have a holiday while he's thinking, it'll be fine.
I would
That's how
like
it
to
is.
go to who's the guy who's the CEO of Virgin?
Richard Branson.
Yeah, I would like to go to Richard Branson's island and
In
live there.
Fiji?
Fiji.
He has one in Fiji.
But what
Yeah.
if he started hunting you?
I'll hunt
As a
his
kind of
face.
Hunger
I'll
Games.
hunt his beard.
That's good, and then take it off and scalp
What do
him.
you know about beards, Miss Bush?
And we tried to go the whole podcast without mentioning beards, but it's been brought up there. It is.
Probably just average information about beards.
There's not many real facts
I
about
don't know what I
beards,
could know about them. That people mainly grow them on their faces. Father Christmas,
Yeah, that's probably the most
real
famous
or
beard, isn't
imaginary,
it?
has had a beard, apparently.
Well, Miss.
White. What I do find interesting about beards actually is that often people without ginger hair have ginger in their beards.
That is strange, almost if
Yeah.
the ginger's trying to consume
Yeah,
them from another
I
part
quite
of the
like
body.
that.
Ginger. What was that, sir? Sorry.
I'd like to tell you some stuff, Ed is.
I also like it they have different configurations as well.
Yeah. There's also lots of
Do
different
you have a
types of beards.
computer at home, Miss?
I have a laptop. Well, it's not a laptop. It's a. What are the ones that are smaller than a laptop? A note,
A netbook.
maybe a netbook.
It's like very small. It doesn't have a disk drive.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah.
crap.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Here we go, Ed is. This is quite
Rubbish.
fascinating.
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 When it came to wearing of facial hair, Roman men went through several shifts in style over the long history of their
Beautiful.
civilization. From the founding of Rome in 753 BCE until
Before
about
Christ, I know
300
what that
before
stands for.
Christ, all men wear long beards and long hair. In a way, they had no choice.
They wear long hair?
Yeah, for razors hadn't been invented. Then in about 300 BCE, a barber from the island of Sicily introduced the razor and everything changed. For the next several hundred years, Roman men followed a very simple rule about facial hair. Slaves had beards and free men and citizens did not.
What do you know about slaves, Miss Bush?
What you know about slaves? What you know about slaves? I know all about slaves.
I don't know that much about slaves, actually. I did slavery when I was at school.
Oh, that
Did
was...
you?
Not as in I was
Did you
a slave.
escape?
I was a slave. I studied
Yeah.
about slavery at school.
I think we all have at some point.
Miss, what's the... I keep on interrupting you, I'm sorry, Miss. But what's the annoying word that everyone keep... Like, is there a annoying word that you don't like?
Is there...
Ediz,
no
these
word
questions today have been
I
so bang on.
don't like...
Really inquisitive.
I like
What's
the
your-
word inquisitive.
No,
I
what's your
like the
most
word
disliked word?
My most disliked word. That is a difficult question.
Mine is probably gulch.
I didn't know that was a word. I don't like the sound of that.
No, it's just a horrible word.
Yeah, it doesn't sound very nice.
Yeah.
What other words don't I like? I don't really like the letter G very much. So
Why don't you like the... Well, what do you know about the letter G, Miss?
The letter G can be used at various points of a word. We can begin words with G, end words with G, and we can have G in the middle of them.
That is fascinating.
Sometimes you would have a hard G, like
Yes.
in the word gregarious.
A hard G?
Sometimes it'd be a soft G, as in singing. So that's mainly all I have to say about the letter G.
I'm so sorry, miss. You're a very cultured lady who's been to a lot of countries. You have some fascinating stories to tell. You know, we're at the end of the podcast and you've been asked, what do you know about beards? What do you know about the letter G? We haven't asked you about your trips all over the world. We haven't asked you about your meetings
What
of
do you
other
know
cultures.
about your trips all over the world, Miss?
But unfortunately, we're at the end of our podcast now, which is a sad story. What we'd basically like to ask you, one last question, is what is your favourite song? Would it happen to be Don't Stop Me Now by Queen?
That's a good song.
Thank you very much.
What do you know about Don't Stop Me Now by Queen, Miss?
Some of the lyrics. What's your favourite song, Ediz?
I don't know.
You don't know? It's a hard question, isn't it?
I mean, I don't have a favourite song.
I have a lot of different songs I like at different times.
Today I like Don't Stop Me... No, I actually don't like that song. I like Don't Shave My Beard by Ediz Mustafa and Mr. Rob Walker.
Oh, I've never heard that
Which
song.
is a song that we created out of our amusement. It involves our lovely time that we have together talking about our beards, and we have like lovely times with Marion Ball and stuff and all that. Would you like to hear that song?
I would love to hear it.
Okay, I shall edit it in the podcast now.
Thank you.
Obviously that didn't work, never mind.
Tonight, I'm gonna grow myself a real good beard. I'm gonna grow it so long.
That's what she said.
And the world, they're gonna see my beard, yeah. It's going to grow down to my knees, so don't shave my beard.
Don't shave my beard, don't shave my...
Don't shave, cause I'm having a good beard, having a good beard. Like a racing car with my beard trapped in the window. I don't wanna make my wife a widow.
Don't you remind me of my kid? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm rolling through the clouds, yeah. I hope that my beard don't poke me in my eye. I'm going at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic bite out of you. Don't stop me now. I'm having such a good time with Marion Ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give her a call. Don't stop me now. Don't stop me now. I don't wanna stop at all.
what did you think of the podcast?
It was very enjoyable.
I think it was lovely.
Ediz, why can't a song be playing simultaneously to as we speak?
Because it will come through the mic and it will sound terrible.
Oh, sorry, so you're going to just overlay it on me at the end?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that was today's podcast. Thank you for listening.
Thank
Beer ding dong.